So we're going to go see my coach from from freshman year of college, Coach Harris. I haven't seen him in a few years. I'm super excited.
My name is Justin Harris. I'm from Wappingers Falls, New York. I'm currently the assistant track and field and cross-country coach at Vassar College. I'm primarily in charge of the short sprints, long sprints, hurdles, all the jumps, and multi-events. For me, I always knew I wanted to be a coach. I knew that's something I could do for a long time. That's something I knew I could create a profession from and be successful at. I actually grew up playing baseball and soccer and every other sport. I really gravitated towards running and ended up being varsity my first race and had a great old time after that. I ran at Vassar College on a Division I scholarship and had some success there. It took me a little while to realize how to train properly, and I kind of felt like I had more to do in sport. I got into triathlon and I decided to spend 4 years to see how far I can make it in triathlon. I was able to compete 2 years as a professional and kind of, as they say, so put some skin in the game with being an elite athlete.
His coaching style is different from others, I would say. Justin is really good at mentally preparing his athletes for a race. A lot of the coaches that I've had in the past are very focused on the physical aspect of running, and sometimes people forget that running is 90% mental and 10% physical.
He definitely had a lot of new ideas and had a lot of really high aspirations for the program, which was really nice.
The first impression was that he cared a lot, even if he didn't quite have all the technical skills that he has now. There was a certain dedication and caring that was different.
When I was first looking for an assistant coach for track, I was very intent on finding someone with a sprint background. I had the cross-country team, I had the track team. I knew that where my limits were in terms of what I could provide for students, and I knew that I needed a sprints coach. Justin at that time had been at SUNY New Paltz for about 3 years. We definitely shared notes on training for distance events and training collegiate runners for distance events. But he approached me asking about the track position. And I told him I was not interested in him, that I was looking for a sprinter. And he said, well, let's talk about it. I said, fine. We sat down, we talked about it. And I basically told him I wasn't interested in him. I needed a sprinter. I needed someone with sprints background, not someone who had never coached sprints before. What he did a really good job of convincing me, and what he always does a good job of convincing people, is when someone tells him that they don't want him to do something and it's something he wants to do, he does a good job showing you that he can do it.
He's been doing triathlons for so long and apparently stopped, and now is devoting more of his time on getting his master's in biology and, just coaching full-time, really.
So I saw my pursuit of triathlon, and to see how far I can take it, was the pursuit of excellence. Now, I wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread. I wasn't a world champion. I didn't win any races as an elite. However, I chose some of the tougher races. I chose the races that had the best competition because I really wanted to see, okay, here's the top and this is where I'm at, or I'm actually down here. So you end up kind of failing. And that was part of my philosophy, is to really go through the ringer so that I can help my future athletes in kind of streamlining that and hopefully push them to a higher position than I ended up or ever could imagine. So when I made the choice not to be an athlete anymore, I gave myself a deadline. That deadline approached. I had a couple tentative offers to kind of keep pursuing it, and I felt like it was at a moment where it was kind of short-term gain and long-term kind of loss. And that's why I ultimately decided to be done with triathlon and focus on coaching and solely. So no longer an athlete, but fully a coach.
He would say, give me a word that will make you go. Because by the second mile, I was always so tired. And I remember saying to him one day, I said, my word today is fast feet. So I was running my race, and I remember where I was at Hamilton College, and I was running and running and running. I got really tired, and then all of a sudden, second mile hits, and I hear this burly voice, Coach Harris, saying, Sammy, fast feet, let's go. And immediately, I just went for it. I was just like, you know what? I need to go. So I went and I ran the best race of my college years because of that. And I have to say, because of the way mentally he prepares his athletes, it's just like, you're just like, wow, like, I don't know, it's just like that really stayed with me, and he really, really did a good job at calming me down.
Justin definitely cares a lot about what he's doing, and he thinks that it's very important, and it really shows. And you can tell that he really cares about all the athletes he's working with, all of the people he coaches. And I think that really stems from the fact that he has been there before. He has been a professional athlete, and he's put himself out there just like we do every day. And so he can really relate to us.
I hate to lose. Hugely competitive, as my siblings say. You know, it's kind of like King Justin, like, you know, he's going to play till he wins, and if not, he might change the rules. And it's not quite wholly that. I mean, I love to compete, but I love looking someone in the eye and say, like, let's go, like, challenge them. And to kind of push people outside their comfort zone. And in doing so, that assists me in pushing me out of my comfort zone. Sometimes it's easy to go through the motions and be complacent and mediocre, so I'm always trying to, you know, get better, and competition is a big aspect for me in that. So when it comes time to compete, I get nervous, my heart rate increases, I get sweaty palms, I start kind of going into the mindset that I did when I was an athlete, and that was kind of very insular. Like, I was getting ready for battle, and I had to kind of seclude myself and get myself away from people because I was mentally preparing to be in a serious amount of pain and to be able to handle that. So I'd get a little snippy with people and just like try to stay away from people and laugh, but you know, it was kind of like really honing in. So I recognize that that's kind of my setup with competition, and I don't necessarily believe it will always benefit my athletes. So with some athletes I know they're similar, so similar personalities are going to kind of butt heads, and I may send them over the edge, or I may upset them or frustrate them just before they're going to compete. So I tend to stay away from my athletes. But I'm definitely in the corner of the track, like let's go, like come on guys, and I'm pacing back and forth, and the other coaches, yeah, you see them doing the same thing. So yeah, I definitely miss it.
He's really, really good at what he does, and I surpassed my half Ironman goal time by 50 minutes, 5-0, and I took 15 minutes off my best half marathon time with his coaching. And you know, I'm by no means some like amazing athlete, but I think that working with him has made me start to see myself as an athlete in a way that I never did before.
Working with Teresa is basically trying to figure out what her life schedule is. So she's a mother of two, a wife, she's a professor on campus, and she's also an athlete. So she has these goals, and you know, you kind of need to, okay, this is what you need to do to be successful athletically, but it cannot come at the expense of her family, you know, and vice versa. Like, you know, work, family, being an athlete, if they're all kind of feeding off each other, you know, and that triangle always kind of moves, and you know, it becomes a different shape as you're working on different things, and it's dynamic. I want people to be able to actualize their dreams, you know. So we have this dream, they want to make it happen, and how do you get people to do that?
So I just saw my coach, who I haven't seen, well, my old coach, who I haven't seen in like a bit. He coached me a little bit, gave me some advice about my running for myself. I have to say, I miss him as a coach, I really do. He knows a lot. And just having him like yell at me like on the sidelines just brought back a lot of good memories, you know? So I'm really happy I went to go see him.